Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Fisher, along here with Barry Tallis, our Director of Product Management. We're both from Ushur, where we are on just a relentless pursuit to transform customer engagement. Simply put, we help automate the communications and workflows between our customers and their customers at scale. We call this CXA, Customer Experience Automation, which brings together conversational and generative AI and process automation, all through a no-code platform to deliver omnichannel customer engagement. And today we're unveiling the latest innovation to help citizen developers automate their own customer engagements with even greater velocity than before. We're announcing Ushur Studio, your workspace to build, test, and deploy customer experience automations across mobile, web, voice, email, and more. Now, we understand how important speed is when dealing with customer satisfaction. So to help organizations move fast, what we're announcing will allow anyone in the organization to automate customer engagement campaigns without any technical knowledge, meaning no programming skills, none. And these campaigns aren't just one-way broadcasts or simple canned replies. These are dynamic, two-way digital experiences designed to drive action and results from customers. This means that the claims team can automatically collect key claims details from claimants when needed without bothering IT. And it means that IT can empower the rest of the organization to build their own quick solutions, acting as a force multiplier for that team amidst increasing demands. So let's jump in. I'm going to turn this over to Barry. He's going to give us more details on what we're announcing today. Barry, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Michael. Okay, my name is Barry Tallis, Director of Product Management here at Ushur, and I've had the distinct honor to work with our amazing engineering team to bring Ushur Studio to life. As Michael's mentioned, Ushur Studio really allows you to build, test, and deploy automated experiences with either greater velocity than before. So I want to give you a quick overview of the platform, and then we'll dive into a lot of the specifics. And so really, if you think about it, if you can create a flowchart or design a digital form, then you can create a digital experience and a customer experience automation inside of Ushur Studio. So everything you need to test and build, test, and deploy is all available here at your fingertips. And so we have a kind of an organization screen here where you're able to see all your campaigns and organize them into different projects. And then we have all the capabilities to integrate with backend systems. So if you need to integrate with Guidewire from a claims perspective or Salesforce to grab contact information, we have a treasure trove of different integrations that allow you to take your data from your systems and bring it into your digital campaign, update that information, and send it back. We also have AI Studio. AI Studio is where you're able to really train and interact with our AI models. And so that way you can really customize your specific needs around document extraction or even training, vertical safe, like healthcare and insurance, large language models. So there are some really cool things that we have planned with that we'll touch on in a little bit. We also have all of our analytics. We have Invisible Portal, which allows you to create a secure portal for launching some of these campaigns with different partners or business to business. And everything, again, to launch your campaigns, design your campaigns, and organize your campaigns. So everything you need is at your fingertips, a very robust environment that allows you to create these campaigns and launch them and monitor what's going on.
Yeah, Barry, thank you for that. That's a great overview. I'm sitting here thinking we talk about speed and ease. I'm wondering what are the things we're doing in Ushur Studio to enable the citizen developer to really develop, to really create these campaigns?
Yeah. So even the term citizen developer really means that any business user can come in and create a solution without having any coding knowledge. That's really what we're taking to heart as we designed Ushur Studio. So there's a couple things that we've put into place. The first is the use of our accelerators, or think of these as pre-built templates. So whether you're on a healthcare side, you need to do a redetermination, recertification, or do a survey like a health risk assessment, these templates are readily available for you to use. All you have to do, click on it, customize your branding experience around Invisible App, which we'll talk about here a little bit more in a moment. But you kind of see it is a browser-based experience that really helps accelerate providing a mobile app-like experience that's secure to your end user. And so once you use one of these templates, it's out of the box, you're ready to go and able to start customizing that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take an existing one here on the insurance side, which is the disaster claim. So one of the templates that we had was around, severe weather alert. So I live here in Florida. We get these all the time with hurricane season in full force. And so you can send out an SMS campaign to say, hey, there's a storm approaching your area. Or if you wanted to do a post-event notification to say, hey, we saw this just pass through, how are you doing? But in this particular case, we're going to take that and make it into a claim process. So let's say I did get some damage on my roof. And so I'm able to launch this campaign to those end users that have had damage and have them start the whole claim process. And so the beauty about this is that we're able to see the outline of this overall campaign. So what we have are different steps, and each step has different types of modules, whether they're engaging with two-way communication, or we're working with data, or we want to provide some type of navigation. That's all here, able to drag and drop and bring that into the step. And then within the step, for example, this is our form module, where if we want to start collecting some information, we would be able to do so. And so it's a very simple drag and drop interface to add context, to this particular form.
Yeah, Barry, as we're in there, right, we want to show how easy this is to use. Can we add an element? Can we add some additional step to that module you just had up?
Absolutely. So here, let's say we have our auto claim and we want to get pictures of the damage to the car. And so we have the text input to describe the damage, but I'm actually going to come down here and I'm going to bring up a file upload. And this allows you to basically request, from the mobile device, the user to take pictures, or if they already have them on their phone, to provide that. So, please upload the photo of the damage. And then again, we can store that. And so if we have our damage photos, so we just go ahead and select that. And so now we've added that interaction for the end user to really, to upload their photo. And now we have that as part of the flow. It's just that easy to add that in. We can drag and drop, reorder it however we want to.
That's great. That's really powerful. You can think of multiple use cases across insurance, healthcare, financial services. Financial services, you're going through a mortgage, the ability to upload a document on the fly is incredibly important as you go through that process. Yeah. Insurance, just proof of insurance, eligibility of insurance, all the documents that are required there. So that's really powerful. And I'm thinking, with all these tools and this power in the hands of the citizen developer, how do we ensure that it's safe to use, that there's sort of guardrails in place for this user?
Yeah, you actually can see one right now. And so we actually have an alert, a little warning that's happened here. And so this really allows us to kind of protect the citizen developer of launching a campaign that, may not have all the required information and data in there. And so we can actually hover over this and it says, hey, we used to have one file format in the form module. So I can click on that and come right down here and select, okay, we can allow, PNG, JPEG, and those types of forms. And what we've done is now cleared out that issue so that now we're able to fully test that workflow or make sure that it works without having any issues. So we've put these best practices and guardrails in place. Plus we have our inline help in the resource center that's readily available to dive in, ask questions, and get direction around how to build out and which types of modules to use.
Oh, that's great. That's super helpful. I'm thinking, I guess maybe the next step is, once I've started to build this out and I get a handle on what my flow is, what my workflow is, how do I, as a citizen developer, how do I test it? Do I have to launch it to myself? Do I have to, push out a pilot? How do I see whether I'm, creating the right thing?
Yeah. So we've actually built in a built-in simulator. And so you see this kind of up here, you see the test workflow. So as you're building, or when you're done, you can actually test out your campaign directly right here into the interface. And so, that way you're able to verify every single step of the way that everything looks good. So instead of having to launch to your phone and then get a text at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're able to really just do that right here in the interface, both from an SMS perspective, as well as our Invisible app standpoint. And so what we've done with Invisible app, it really allows you to create that mobile app-like experience inside of their their mobile device. So you don't have to spend a lot of money and resources on an app. You actually can build this in as part of our campaign. And this allows you, especially which we don't want to send sensitive information or private information over SMS. This provides a very secure interface to grab information such as there's driver's license or whatever. And so we're able to go through this particular campaign and test everything out and make sure everything looks the way that we want it to look. And so here we start seeing some information about their first name, last name, and so forth. So again, we're able to collect that.
Looks like my keen eye has caught, because it looks like there's a typo in that second field.
Yeah, spelling mistake. So this is the beauty about that. So a little fat finger there. So I can go in here and come in and update that, make sure the spelling looks good. And then just again, come right back into our flow. And so this is, again, another powerful reason why we've built this in, is that we don't want those type of embarrassing mistakes going out to our end users. So this really gives you that security that everything is going to look good. Also, you're able to show this to your compliance team and making sure that everything looks good on that standpoint. And so here, for example, in this particular claims flow, we're getting some basic contact information. Now, since I don't have location services turned on my phone here, but I can go ahead and put in an address, and we'll just pretty close to me, okay? And then put in my policy number, and then continue on with the engagement. And so, this what property was damaged. So we'll go to auto because that's where we have our file upload. When did this happen? It happened last Friday. And then the estimation on damages. And now here's exactly the upload photo that we added that in there. And so we're able to go through this. And in this particular scenario, these are required values. And so you're able to really help making sure that they're able to fill in all the information, give them clues where they are in the process, and then again, get all the data and details around the claim and be able to store that and send it into your back-end systems. So again, a great way to test to make sure everything is working before you launch that out to the end user.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of value there, right? If you think about there's guardrails for the citizen developer when developing this, but there's also guardrails in the actual for the end user. So those validation on each of those fields means that we collect the right information that the citizen developer intended. So that's terrific. Just all these fields and photos and file uploads, et cetera. There's a lot of information we're collecting. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how we interact with that data. How does the platform capture, process, and utilize that data?
Yeah. So what we're doing inside the flow is we're actually collecting all the information with the end user into what we call tags. And so you kind of see some of the values here. And so we're able to use that information and again, to make determinations about, which way do we want to go and branch or whatever. So there's a lot of value of collecting that information and using that inside the flow. But then we also want to be able to store that information and use it in other external systems. So for example, if I go to over here on our health risk assessment. So this was a health risk assessment survey that we ran. And the whole process was to collect this information and store it into a data table. And then again, we can export that out to a CSV through a secure FTP process. Through an API, so you're able to get access to all this information, or then again directly into integration with your backend systems. And so, for a complex survey where you're going to get lots of information, a lot of records, this provides a really quick and easy way to capture that information as part of the flow, save it to our data table, and then again export it out where you need to. One of the other things, again, we built in from a security perspective is if there's anything that we need to have encoded or encrypted, we're able to do that as well. And so this really follows a lot of the HIPAA, high trust, PII standards that are out there in the industry around the collection of data and storing of that data.
Yeah, that's a really good point, right? So working in the healthcare, insurance, financial services space, data is incredibly important. It's incredibly important to protect that data. So HIPAA, high trust, SOC 2, type 2. So all incredibly important to users of the platform. So I think we've covered a lot here, right? So we've got a workflow that we feel pretty good about. We know where the data is going once it's being collected. How do we actually launch this?
Yeah. So all I have to do is come back here to this particular flow that we're using, click on publish. And so I can go actually directly into our Launchpad. So our Launchpad is a place to really, launch these campaigns based upon a segmentation of contacts. So I've got my workflow selected. I'm going to select my group of contacts out here. And so I see I've got 6 recipients that are about to get this campaign. Now, just so I don't send these out to some ones, I can go ahead and select certain ones to remove, and then just launch it to myself. I can select my channel, and so again, since this was an SMS and invisible app-based experience, it knows that. But again, we could launch it via email, voice. So there's a lot of different ways of launching a campaign. And here now I can launch this engagement and send it out, and now I'll be getting a text on my phone that this campaign was sent to me. We also have the ability to set up a pull code. Basically allows you to put in a tag. So if I want to do disaster claim, now when I text the hashtag disaster claim to this number, then it will initiate that campaign. So a great way to do this is, as part of a business card or other types of collateral. You can even encode it into a QR code. Where when they scan the QR code, it will automatically launch this campaign. So not only can you push out a campaign to an end user, you're able to allow them to basically self-select and enter into the campaign themselves.
That's great. In my head, that all ladders up to reducing the amount of load on a contact center or a claims team or an onboarding team, where you can take what would have normally been a manual process or involved, a live conversation between the member or the insured and the claimant and an adjuster or a contact center, and you really digitize and automate it. So it's incredibly powerful. Barry, I'm wondering, now that we've launched this, how do we see the analytics? How do we see how the campaign's performing?
Yeah. So we do have 2 aspects of analytics. We have our campaign analytics and then our insights. So the campaign analytics is specifically around the actual workflow. So we have our disaster claim. You actually see that we have this one launched, and we have some other ones that we've been doing with our simulator. And so every single campaign that goes out, that allows you to really see exactly what's going on, what was sent to the end user, and then what was received back from the end user. So all this information, plus you're able to see kind of the launch metrics around what's queued, waiting to go out, one that's waiting a reply, and then 8 that are ongoing campaigns. They haven't been fully completed yet. And so this really will provide you that very critical view around what's going on in a flow, and make sure that it's getting to the end user and that they're completing that particular journey. We also have our insights, and so that really provides a high-level dashboard and view across all of your campaigns. So what is your average engagement percentage? How are your different channels, whether it's SMS or email, how are those being leveraged, and what's the response rate and the open rate? So all those metrics we provide as part of our embedded dashboards inside of Ushur Studio.
That's great. So that I think that covers a lot of what we wanted to show today around building, testing, and deploying. Right. This provides all the tools and capabilities around those 3 pillars. I wanted to maybe cover one more area, which is really around what I think undergirds the whole platform, which is AI. Right. I know there's a lot of talk around this today. So you showed AI Studio, the ability to upload your training data, train, create a model, test that model, publish, so that we could handle and classify high volume incoming email, or create a conversational AI model, or data extraction from Accord forms or any other types of documents. I wonder if there's anything else we want to show in the realm of AI today that you want to talk through.
And that's one thing that we've really been focusing on is vertically safe large language models. And so we've actually built into our canvas the ability to actually get some guidance around how to engage with the end user. And so For example, we've got this message that says, well, welcome to the demo. This was a great opportunity to share what the end user campaign is all about. But does that really sound, very intriguing to the end user? And so we actually are able to build in what we call smart suggestions. And this allows you to bring up a dialogue and basically kind of pick the tone of the type of interview you actually want to do. And it's going to take our message that we put here, and it's going to provide us with some different examples of what we could replace it with. And so, let's take this first one. So it's a grand moment. So we're able to take that and bring that in and replace the text with the suggested text. And so there you'll be able to tweak all that down, get down to the right voice, but then also that allows you to make sure that you've got a consistent tone and voice throughout your entire campaign, making sure that what you're sending to the end user is friendly and usable. And you also have an opportunity to verify that from a generational standpoint. So this is one of many different types of advancements that we'll be looking at and bringing into our platform from a Gen AI perspective. So we're really super excited about the next couple months, what we're doing on the AI side here in Ushur Studio.
Yeah, Barry, that's really exciting, right? So not only does Studio help the citizen developer quickly create a workflow that can be deployed, it actually helps them create the language that they would use and interact with a end user with, and ensure that it happens in a consistent way. So that's really powerful. Barry, thank you for that walkthrough. Super thorough. That was terrific. So look, I know there's a lot of promises out there around so-called no-code platforms in terms of their capabilities and ease of use, the promises made. What we hear from our customers is the ability to build and deploy production engagements in days versus months after just one onboarding session. So we see this through customers on a daily basis. So we're really excited to see what folks can do with this upgrade to the platform. And speaking of, if you'd like to try out the Studio for yourself, just head over to visit us at ushur.com and start the process there. With that, we'll bring this webinar to a close. Thank you all for your time. Have a great day.